So you're tuning in to watch what the pros are of living in Tennessee, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's jump right in. Pro number 10 of living in Tennessee is how conservative or red state Tennessee is. Tennessee is one of, if not the most red state of any current state. I think Florida and Texas are right there with Tennessee. However, if you're moving to Memphis, that's the most blue part of the entire state. And then Nashville would be a second as far as that goes. But everywhere else, pretty much in the entire state of Tennessee, it's pretty red. And the further out you go in the middle of nowhere, the more bright red it gets. One thing that's cool about Tennessee is how relaxed the gun laws are. So if you are a card-carrying member and you want to have a gun, you don't have to have a concealed carry license if you're over the age of 21 for handguns, which is awesome. Or if you're over the age of 18 and you're in the military or in police officer. So that's pro number 10. Pro number 9 of living in Tennessee. This is one of the biggest reasons that we made the move to Tennessee. Wasn't the number one reason, but was a huge reason. And that's that there's no state income tax in the state and the low property taxes. However, Tennessee does have a higher sales tax than a lot of states. For example, Memphis has their sales tax at 9.75%. Nashville is at 9.25%. Knoxville is at 9.25%. And Franklin, Tennessee is at 9.75%. So it's going to vary based on which city and county you're in, but that just gives you an idea of kind of where the sales tax is currently. And property taxes, Tennessee, it's right around 0.56%, and then that's going to vary based on the county and city as well. But overall, property taxes are really low here in the state of Tennessee. Pro number 8 of living in Tennessee is your car registration is super cheap. It's like $55 for your car registration, and it will vary based on certain counties that you're in if it's a little bit more, but it's roughly going to be about that price. You don't have to smog your car anymore. They passed a law that stopped that. So that saves you an extra $7 a year. Because prior to that, you had to go to a smogging station, wait in line, and pay your $7, and then they would smog your car. So that saves you a little bit of money there. However, one thing we did notice that was a little bit of a negative of moving to Tennessee was our insurance, our car insurance was a little bit more. If yours is more, you could comment below, but that could be due to the poor drivers that we have in Tennessee. Pro number 7 of living in Tennessee is the weather. So the state gets all 4 seasons, other than humidity, which I don't like at all. I absolutely dread humidity. So when summer hits and it's hot and humid, it's not my favorite time of year. We do get a couple weeks a year where it's warm and then it's not humid, and we just wonder why the weather can't just do that year round. Well, that's what you get when you live in California or some of the western states. The other negative would be you get tornadoes in Tennessee where you don't get them elsewhere in the U.S. So if you're concerned about that, there are 3 different options that you can do roughly for protecting yourself against tornadoes. And that's the underground shelter. So either in your garage or backyard, you would put a underground shelter. And the other option would be in the garage, you can do some sort of freestanding unit, which a lot of people have done since that's the least expensive method. It does eat into your space, but it's like a rectangle, and you just go inside it and it protects you. And then the third or last way to protect yourself is the closet tornado shelter room. And that's the most expensive way, but also kind of the coolest since you don't really lose too much space. And if you're building your home new, you can have them build that right then and there so that you can accommodate the space requirements for it. One thing that's interesting for the state of Tennessee is when we get these weather alerts like it's going to snow. We really don't get much snow, just, like maybe an inch or something like that. But the weather, it'll be all over the news, and everybody rushes to the grocery store and buys up all the bread and milk. So I've never been able to figure out why they want bread and milk since they don't really go together. But if you know why, love to hear from you in the comments below. The fall time is amazing in Tennessee because it's not hot and it's not humid, and the leaves start to change colors and then fall off, and then it looks ugly for the next 4 or 5 months or 6 months until springtime comes and then everything grows back. One of the things that we did prior to moving to the Nashville area was we came out in February when everything was dead because I wanted to see what it really looked like. I didn't want to see it in the summertime when the trees have leaves, or in the fall when it's gorgeous. We wanted to see, what does it look like when it's the ugliest that it could possibly be? Could I live here? And so we did that and found out, yep, it's not that bad. It's kind of dreary when it's overcast and then there's no leaves, but it's something that you can deal with for sure. Pro number 6 is the country music is huge in Tennessee. I think it's the birthplace of country. It has the largest amount of country music stars, the largest amount of bars that you can go to, and music events. You should definitely go to the Gaylord Opry if you're into country, even if you aren't into country. Like, I don't really like country, but I went to the Gaylord Opry. Super fun for you to see how that works and experience it. And I don't know, it's just a really cool time. But country is huge, so when you go to a Predator game, they'll have typically a couple bands that play during the intermission breaks, and usually one of them is a country band. But afterwards, when you go out onto Broadway, there are a ton of bars that have all sorts of music playing, but a bunch of them will have country and different types of country. Pro number 5 of living in Tennessee, and this was one of the reasons that we made the move, and that's the Southern hospitality. We wanted really nice, friendly people, and for the most part, everybody is really nice and friendly in the entire state. They will say something like, bless your heart, and you need to know that about 90% of the time, that's a condescending thing. It's not a good statement for them to say, and they don't say it as much as they used to. When we first moved, I would hear it more often than we do lately. I guess more and more people have moved and don't use that wording, but you just need to know that overall, the state of Tennessee, you're going to find very, very friendly people, and the further you are from the main cities, the more friendly the people are going to be. Pro number 4 is there are 4 main areas people are moving to in the state of Tennessee, and they're moving about 45 minutes away from each of these areas. So area number 1 people are choosing is Memphis. So you're going to be within, if you drew a circle around Memphis and went 45 minutes in all directions, and that could lead you into Arkansas living. And then the next area is Nashville, and they're going to be a 45-minute radius of that, and that's where I'm currently located. Then you have a 45-minute radius of Knoxville, and that's to the east, about 3 hours from Nashville. So Nashville sits in the center of the state. Memphis is 3 hours to the west, and then 3 hours to the east is Knoxville. And then the 4th area that people are choosing is Chattanooga. And Chattanooga is about a 2.5 hour drive from Nashville, kind of southeast, right at the bottom, right at the border of Georgia. Those are the 4 main areas, and people are just, like I said, moving within a 45-minute radius of one of those. And when we've helped people relocate, we've do our Zoom session with you and talk about the different areas of the state and which one you're kind of looking for based on where you're going to be working. Do you have family and friends in certain areas? What type of home you want to purchase, your budget, what kind of weather, because the weather is a little bit different in all 4 areas. For instance, Knoxville gets a little bit more snow. It's a little bit colder. It's not as hot in the summer. Nashville kind of gets the middle, or I guess kind of, it's got a more unique, I guess, weather because it'll get more snow than Memphis will get, but it's still hot, humid, and everything else. And then Chattanooga has the river there that's by it. So it seems like it's maybe a little bit more humid, but I don't think it gets as much snow as, say, Nashville gets. So those are the 4 main areas people are choosing. Pro number 3 of living in Tennessee, and this is a super cool thing, is there are so many new construction home options that you have. Because so many people are moving, they are just plowing farmland all over the state in those 4 main areas and building new homes. So we can definitely hook you up with a new construction home. There's a ton of different builders. Some are quality, some are not. And that's one of the things we can definitely help you with, is choosing the right builder in the right area for you, and then helping you through the whole design center process. So we really, really like it when we can attend the design center appointment with you. It takes 2 to 4 hours roughly. but we will definitely go there with you, and we take notes, and you can ask us some suggestions on certain things. But for the most part, we're pretty quiet. We're just there to make sure that the builder treats you in the right manner, because the builder works for themselves and we work for you. So that's pro number 3, is all the new construction options you're going to have in Tennessee. Pro number 2 of living in Tennessee, that's our job market. And our job market is very, very strong in Tennessee. There are lots of companies that relocate their headquarters to Tennessee. For instance, In-N-Out Burger is opening their eastern headquarters in Franklin, Tennessee. And Amazon has opened up an area up in Nashville. And of course, they have their warehouses all over the state. But just tons of different companies, from electric companies to healthcare. And healthcare is one of our biggest industries in the state of Tennessee. So if you're in the healthcare field, that's a great thing. And just our market is really, really good for jobs in the state of Tennessee. And that leads us to pro number 1, and that's all the food and drinks you're going to get. So if you're in the Nashville area, you got to try hot chicken. And while they have hot chicken all over the state, in the Nashville area, you got Hattie B's, which is the number 1 hot chicken place. You got to try that. And that's something that anyone that we help when you're moving to the Nashville area, we will take you to Hattie B's now and have you eat there. Everyone has loved it. It's awesome. And they have really, really hot chicken if you want hot. Like, I can't even take some of their flavors because it's too hot. But you have that. As far as steak goes, you got a steak place called Stony River that you can eat at. Probably one of the best steaks that we can get anywhere that we've eaten steak. My wife loves their coffee cured filet, and she gets that well done, which I don't understand. We have to butterfly it, and then it's still cooked to still charred. I prefer like a normal filet, and I cook it blue rare. So typically when we are out eating, she has to order her full meal, and then I'll order my salad that goes with it. And then I will tell them I don't want a steak. And then when they bring her food, then I will tell them, oh, I decided I want a filet, cook it blue rare. And then 5 or 6 minutes later, I get my filet and whatever side I get, either baked potato or asparagus, one of those two. But those come out in like 5-6 minutes and it's done perfect. Otherwise, about 75% of the time I order at the same time she does, because they will tell me that we can do it right. My steak is medium rare, and then they got to send it back. So then I got to wait, another 6 minutes to eat after they brought one, and then they got to throw the steak out. So, and that happens almost at every steak place that her and I go and eat. They will screw up my steak. Only certain ones have it right, and so it's just not worth it for me to do it that way. Mexican food, there's a place called Oscar's Tacos you got to try. Or if you're happen to be in Spring Hill, Tennessee, there's a place called Oscar's Taco. Adrian is the owner there. Say hello. Tell him Greg sent you. If you're looking for a good burger, you got Burger Republic, and that's really, really good. And then in Memphis, their barbecue is better than Nashville's barbecue. And Nashville has pretty good barbecue too, but Memphis has better barbecue. So when you're in Memphis, you got to try the barbecue. But there are a ton of good food choices in the entire state. So if you could comment below what your favorite type of food is, that would be super awesome. Drink-wise, there's lots of cool places to drink in Tennessee. In the Nashville area, you got downtown, the Broadway area, and this is where they have tons of bachelorette parties. I think it's one of the top places in the U.S. where bachelorette parties go. But Friday and Saturday nights, you typically will see a bunch of different bachelorette parties, and the girls with it. Super fun to be down there. And then you got bars both in Knoxville and Memphis and Chattanooga that you can go to. Since you've made it this far, if you'd like more information, please reach out to me and the team. We'd love to hear from you and talk about getting you moved here to the great state of Tennessee. So please give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm out of here.